Hello, lovely people, and welcome to a quick introduction to my practice log. So my name's Elizabeth Fitzpatrick, and I have created this practice log to support my students in their practice. Most of my current pupils are of school age, and so they may have an adult supporting them in their practice, but equally this can be used by an adult or a young adult to help them really focus and get a good effective practice session out of their time rather than wasting it going round in circles. So you can see there is a little introduction. I won't read it to you, you can read it yourself. And I've just for fun really designed a different page for each season. You can see there winter, spring and summer. Obviously you can use them accordingly, or if you just want to stick to one, that is fine. But we're going to use the example page here just to sort of explain and demonstrate how it can be used. So first off, the autumn practice log, you'll see it's split into weekly practice sessions. I'm not expecting daily practice from most of my students, but it would be great if you could do that. But equally, with the demands on most people's time, it's good to be able to look at your week and set aside some certain days for practice. So we have our weekly overview, we have our space for our target, and I will come back to targets in a second. And then at the bottom, a bit of self-assessment at the end of your practice session. You fill in according to, if you think you're making good progress towards the target, you give yourself a smiley face. If you think you've started to make progress but you've got a way to go, it's a straight face. And if you think you need more time to work towards this target, then it is a sad face. And really, to help use your time effectively, if you're giving yourself sad or straight faces, those are the issues that you need to come with at the beginning of the lesson. When I say, what would you like to work on today? It's those two targets, those either sad faces or straight faces, that we should really prioritize. If you're thinking you're making good progress towards your target, then by all means check in with me and you can show me your work, and I'd love to see it. But using our time wisely, we need to target our time on our areas that we feel a bit weaker in. So coming back to the targets themselves, you'll see that they are called SMART targets, and a bit explanation is up in the corner. So this is a big feature of most schools now, and to measure progress, especially at secondary, but also in the primary classroom. A SMART target is specific, it's measurable, achievable, realistic and timely. So instead of giving ourselves a target to learn a piece, say orange and yellow and brown, in 1 week, right, and that could be, for some that could be doable, but for a lot of people that might be a little bit intimidating. We can break that piece down into manageable targets and chunk our time so we can use our time both wisely and feel like we're making really good progress. So for example, I've put all my targets that apply to music and learning repertoire, so learning songs, in sort of this greeny colour. And then targets that apply to my learning of music theory in pink. You can do it however you want. I've just done it like this to be a bit clearer. So for example, if I were a student and learning this grade 1 song Orange and Yellow and Brown, for example, I might give myself this target to apply the crescendo and diminuendo in Orange and Yellow and Brown in bar 28. So this is something that students perhaps, when they're early on in their singing careers, might find tricky to do, the gradual increase in volume and then the decrease in volume. Sunday, they took as a rest day. That's absolutely fine. It's good to rest the voice. If you want to do daily practice, amazing, but I recognise that nowadays daily practice on an instrument, especially when you're younger, can be quite a challenging thing. So I appreciate that. And so I'm pretending, if I have done this target, that I worked on it on Monday and Tuesday, and yeah, I started to make progress towards doing that crescendo and diminuendo, but I haven't really sort of got it under my skin yet, and I need a bit more work. On the Wednesday, after my singing practice, I was like, yeah, I think I'm getting this now. I'm making good progress towards my target. I then had a day off. And then on Friday, I revisited that target, and yep, it was still going really well. So by Sunday, I could confidently tick off the fact that yes, I now do the appropriate crescendo and diminuendo in bar 28. Then either at the same time or after I've achieved my first target, it is up to you and what workload you want, I might start working on my second target, so to memorise the first 2 verses of Speed Bunny Boat by the end of the week. Now this is a really good example of what a SMART target is. So it's really specific. I'm not saying all of the song, the first 2 verses. So the first 2 verses of Speed Bunny Boat. I haven't done a generalised target like I'm going to learn all my grade 1 songs by next week. That's not realistic. So be specific. Bunny Boat. Measurable. How will I know when I've done this? Well, I'll know because I will be able to sing those 2 verses without looking at the book. Achievable. Do I think I'm capable of achieving this goal in the week I have set myself? Well, think about how much time I have to spend on my singing practice and whether or not I find memorising words easy. Personally, yes, I think that's an achievable goal. That links to, is it a realistic goal? Is it in my skill set yet to be able to do that? Well, yes, it is. It's realistic for me to be doing that. Is that time frame realistic? Yes, it is. And so there we are. That's my SMART target. And again, I've used the FACE system to make a self-assessment on whether or not I'm progressing towards this. And you'll see for this target that actually I haven't given myself a tick from. So by the end of that week, I felt like I was making good progress towards my target, but I hadn't yet achieved my target. And so maybe I might bring this up at my next singing lesson if I had spent a whole week working on it and still hadn't felt like I could sign it off. That's something I would raise with my singing teacher. Likewise, as I said though, if you find yourself stuck on either a straight face or a sad face, that's the thing to prioritise in our lessons. This is my music theory targets. You don't have to include them if you're not doing music theory studies right now. Of course, if you are, use it however you want. So here, for example, I'll just look at the second target to be able to identify the note names of the treble clef by the end of the week. Again, it's specific. I'm saying I want to know the note names, and the clef, I want to know the note names of the treble clef, not the bass clef, not the alto clef, not the tenor clef, the treble clef. And I'm giving myself a realistic time frame to achieve that in. Obviously, if you're working with your child to fill these out, you know your child's sort of pace of learning, at what they're comfortable with. You know whether or not they have any additional learning challenges like dyslexia, or perhaps they learn better through doing, sort of they're a kinesthetic learner rather than sort of sitting and studying. So you can help them mould their target to how best suits them, okay? It doesn't all have to be achieved within a week. It could be achieved within a month. It could be a yearly goal that you work on bit by bit each week, or it could exactly be something that you want to achieve that day. Perhaps you're in, well, like we've been in a lockdown, perhaps you find yourself in a lockdown or having to quarantine, and this can be used to really sort of shape your week and give some structure to the practice. So that's just a quick look at the autumn practice log. If you're one of my current students, you can access this by logging into your area on my website. If you are not one of my students but you'd like to use this, then it should shortly be available for download on my website. If it's not, then feel free to email me on the link below. And if you'd like to book a session, use my website to book a free taster session. Lovely. Well, thanks for giving me your time. I really hope this is beneficial to you all. If you've got any suggestions on how to make it a bit better, or you might want a few different colours, then please let me know. I'm always happy to receive constructive feedback. Happy practicing!